Hello everybody, my name is Roman Tasios. This is the first part of the Dagonite series, modeling and texturing. In this part we'll be covering the mass blocking. So first thing what I'm going to do, as you can see we already have max opened. I'm going to hit Alt W over here to maximize perspective. I'm going to front view, open up the command panel. I'm going to be toggling this on and off because we don't have a lot of space because it's 800 by 600. So first thing I'll do, I'll make a plane, hit F12 and W for the move key. I'm going to right click on these arrows over here to make sure they're in the center of the wall. If we want also the Z axis, but either way we're going to pull this up. It's not that much of importance because the model we're going to be making over here, but if we would have it like so, the model would be right in the middle. Later we would just have to fix the pivot point of the model, so the base, the pivot point, is at his feet in the middle. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna put this up like so, hide this. We're gonna bring up our material editor by hitting M, and just pick this one over here. Hit the little button over here, the little box next to diffuse, select the bitmap and load up our concept sketch. Drag and drop on the plane. Make sure you tick this little box over here so it can show the map in the viewport. And we'll also go to the properties of the plane. We don't need these segments over here, so I'll just right click to get rid of this stuff. And one thing which I like doing, I always like playing around a little bit with the plane to make sure the concept looks good. We can just get rid of the grid by hitting G, and he looks good like this, so I'll leave it as that. Let's go to perspective mode, hit G again so we can see our grid. There it is. Okay, what we need to do now, we have to do the same thing, but from the left side. Oh, wait a second, before we do that, let's go again, sorry about that. Let's go to the front view and make sure this is right in the middle. I don't know if this is visible or not, but here we go. Like so. Okay, what we're going to do now, we're going to hit A so we can toggle the rotate snap tool so it can go by 5 degrees. Because if we don't do that, if we hit A again, see there it goes, it doesn't toggle every 5 degrees. So we're going to hit A, hold down Shift, and rotate it until 90 degrees. Make a copy, go into left view by hitting L. Now, if you go to another view and you can't see anything, hit F3 so you can get a shaded mode. Okay, let's go to the move tool again. Move this like so. Go to perspective view. And this has to be in the middle of this, so we'll go to front view. Make sure this is right in the middle, like that. Now what we want to do is align our concept. So, like so is good. As you see, the chin over here doesn't really line up, but that's because this line over here slightly goes upwards. Okay. Chest, abs. The concept sketch isn't all that great, but we'll work with it. It's just a base. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pull this back. And this back like so. If we go from the back side, we can see a black surface. So what we want to do, first thing, select this plane, Control Shift to select multiple objects, go into properties and tick backface call. If you already have that ticked, that's good. Okay, what we want to do now, because the model over here we're going to be going in and out of vertex mode and all different other stuff, we don't accidentally want to be selecting the plane. Let's say we have the model here and we want to select it, we don't want to select the plane by accident, so we'll select these again, go to properties, and we're going to use the freeze tool. But as you can see, they become gray, so I'll undo that by hitting Ctrl Z. I'm going to untick this, show frozen in gray, and then freeze. As you can see, I can't select them, they have the texture on them, so we can get started. First thing I'll do, I'll make a cylinder. Make sure it's in the middle. Go into front view. Get rid of the wireframe. I'm gonna, while having the cylinder selected, I'm gonna hit Alt X, go into X-ray view, so we can have a better view of our model. Okay, I'm gonna move this up. First, I'm gonna start mass blocking, excuse me, of the torso. So I'm gonna move this up to the height of the groin. Make the radius a little bit smaller, about like that, and also make this smaller like so. Actually just a little bit bigger. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't need 18 sides all around, so I'm gonna make that 12, because this is low poly model for games, so you don't really want to start out dense. Best if you start out with low polygons, and wherever you need details you add them on as you work your way up. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to convert this to poly. I'm going to go into vertex mode and start selecting vertices and moving them up and down wherever I feel that we need. What I'm doing now, I'm just making a basic rows. Let's say we definitely gonna need a row over here because it makes this bend, has this curve. So I'm gonna hit the R key to go into scale mode. I'm gonna start scaling these just on the x-axis, like so. I'm gonna scale this up a little bit. Scale this up. Scale this down. I'm gonna scale this way down. Actually, this I'm gonna move a little bit up. This, and also scale a little bit down, just to get a very rough shape of it. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to the left side. Now, if you enter a viewport and you don't see the wireframe on it, hit F4 to get wireframe unshaded. What we're going to do now, again, we're going to be using Move tool. Okay, I'm going to scale these down again. Just to get the rough shape. Nothing more at this stage. Like so. So this is our very rough shape. Very, very rough shape of our torso. I'll hit Alt X again to get out of X-ray mode. I'll change this color a little bit. There we go. I think that's much better for the capture. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to select these two vertices over here, which is a line. Sorry. These two over here. These two down here. And we're going to connect them. We're going to do this, why? Because since our model is isometric, we're just going to be modeling the one side and mirroring the other side. Saves a lot of time. Okay, let's go to front view, go into faces, select these faces, and hit delete. Now, whenever you try to delete a piece of geometry that had vertices on top, it will always pop up this window asking you if you're sure you want to delete these vertices over here. Just hit yes. If you don't want to be clicking on that all the time, what you want to do is, while in vertex mode, just select the vertices that you don't want, hit delete. It doesn't ask anything, because it's like you're telling Max you are sure you want to delete these vertices. Okay, I'll get out of this. Now, about the mirroring, you can either do it by using the symmetry modifier. Here we go. And when first time you go for your editable poly, you can see there's a stack. Here's the symmetry modifier. Just gonna have to hit this little button up here, which is show end result in viewport. Now, your original geometry is with the yellow wireframe. Whatever you do is mirrored on the other side. You cannot select this surface though. So let's delete that, and if we go into Tools, Mirror, have X on and make it instance. Okay. We get this. We can select either of the two, and whichever we do, whatever we do on one side goes on the other. Now, a lot of people use this, use that. It's all up to you what you're more comfortable to work in. I really don't mind. The good thing about the mirror instance is that half of the side you can have in shaded and the other half in X-ray to follow the concept. So, next thing what we're going to do, we're going to create another cylinder, which this will be for the leg. Let's go into front view again, Alt X, move this up to where the foot starts. We're going to change the properties a little bit of this. We don't need 10 sides, so I'll just lower this to 10, and for the height segments I'm going to leave it as it is. If we need more, we'll just add. Okay, so again I'm going to go to convert to editable poly and start moving around and scaling rows of vertices to get the basic shape of the leg. For now I'll just scale this up like this and rotate this part like so. Okay, again we're going to go to the left side and place our rows accordingly. Here we go. This also is a very basic shape of our foot. It doesn't even have a knee or anything. We'll be adding these details later on. So we can select this, use the attach key. Immediately it's mirrored on the other side. We'll be attaching this geometry later on. So make another cylinder. This time this is going to be for the hand, for the arm, excuse me. Here we go. It keeps the same settings of your previous cylinder, so I also want tenside on this, and I'm going to leave the height segments as is. If it is, I can remove or add if needed. So again, I'll go create this into editable poly and start selecting rows. This time I'm not going to be scaling just on X, but in all directions. Here we go. Well, that should do it for now. Let's go to the left view. One thing which we don't see over here now is, because this we have shaded, we can't see from the other side, so I'll just make this X-ray too. Now we have a better view of what's going on. Make these selections. If you have a weird or a little bit more complicated areas to select the vertices, like this row over here, an easy way is selecting an edge, hitting loop, and then Control, click on vertice. It selects everything in that row. It's very handy. So just move that like so. Actually, sorry about that. You can select everything over here. Go into left side. Just move everything like so. For the time being, anyway. Select our torso again. Here we go. And now we'll be also be making a base for the head. For the head, what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna use a cylinder this time. I'm gonna use a box. I'm also going to take this auto grid so I can actually build a box wherever I want on this geometry. As you can see, the cursors change the axis, so this little grid shows up. Make this basic shape. Go in front view, again Alt X. I'll just move it like so. One thing, what I'm going to do with this, apart from doing the obvious, changing the height, length and width, is I'm also going to add some segments. Let's say I'm going to add some length segments. I'll add two for here, one for width and one for height. Okay, let's convert this to poly also. Select the vertices and just make a very rough shape of the head. Move this over here where the eye is. Maybe this a little bit back. Go into front view. Again, we're going to select half of it and delete it. just going to select these vertices over here because, as you can see in the concept, the way his face is, it's not completely flat in front. It has this curve over here because the face is generally something between a cobra-like style, but generally it's aimed for a humanoid fish face. Well, maybe the sketch isn't so good, but geometry-wise, we'll do much better than that. Go to left view. Gonna pull these down a little bit and deselect the ones which are in place. Gonna select these vertices over here. Go to front view, pull them out a little bit, and these I'll manually move them to follow these curves over here. Again, I'll touch the head. This is the very basic start of our model. We'll be adding details like defining the hand, the arm, shoulders, chest, abs, adding these fins later on. So, good idea is to save your scene now. And this is end of part 1. Thank you very much.